Greetings, ladies and gentlemen. Today is Friday, April 28th. The Rays are the first team to 20. Bryan Reynolds gets paid, and the White Sox look bad. Let's talk about it. Hello, everybody. My name is Steven. This is the middle of the order. How are we doing all today, ladies and gentlemen? We have another week of baseball, the beautiful sport that we all love. And we've got a lot to go over. A lot happened this week. 15 series, of course, as always. We've got our stat leaderboard check today. We have our new hot and colds, the way we're going to be doing them. So very excited for today's episode. And if you are too and you want to catch the rest of the season with me, please feel free to subscribe. It helps me out a ton. If you're on Spotify or Apple Podcasts, follow, put on the bell so you know when I upload Mondays and Fridays. We are going to dive right into our series recap. So let's get it started. Starting it off here, we've got Boston in Baltimore. And it's all Boston in the first few innings of the first game here. Home runs from Casas and Devers, but Baltimore would score 5 straight off of Chris Sale, who was not happy with himself, smashing stuff in the dugout after the game. They take the opener. Baltimore wins it 5-4. Boston in the second game, they score 7 in the first 3 innings with a grand slam from Jarren Duran, but Baltimore again came creeping back up with home runs from Jorge Mateo and Gunnar Henderson and Cedric Mullins, who hits a grand slam, but it wasn't enough this game. Boston hangs on. They take it 8-6. And in the final game, Masataka Yoshida hits his 4th home run of the year, but Baltimore scores 3 in the 4th to help them beat Boston. They take that one 6-2. Moving on, we got the Astros taking on Tampa Bay in the Trop. The Rays are undefeated, and here we go in the first game. Bregman and Jeremy Pena, they go deep for the Stros, but the Rays score 4 in the 3rd to let them know whose house they are in. The Rays improve their streak at home to 14-0. They stay undefeated. They win 8-3. In the second game, Luis Garcia and the Astros mean business. He goes 6 innings, 7 Ks, 3 hits, and he looks like he's finally getting used to the pitch clock with back-to-back good starts. As he and the rest of the staff blanks the Rays, the Astros score 5, and they end the Rays streak of being undefeated at home. They win that one 5-0. And in the final game, it's Hunter Brown. He dominates the Rays, and the only run being scored here was on an error by Wander Franco in the first inning. The Astros shut the Rays out twice. They take the series in Tampa Bay 1-0. Moving on, the White Sox come to Canada to take on the Blue Jays, and they jump to an early 2-0 lead, the only lead they would have in the series. But it's Kevin Biggio with a 3-run home run off of Lance Lynn. Romano locks down the save, and the Jays win the first game 5-2. And in the second game, it's something about Jose Barrios at home, or at least when I go to those games. It's remarkable to see. He goes 7 innings, no runs, while Danny Jansen hits 2 home runs in the game. As the Blue Jays dominate the Sox, they win that one 7-0. You say I'm crazy, but I say you say Kikuchi, as he shoves for 8 Ks through 5 2/3 innings with no runs. Bichette gets his 5th homer of the year, and the rest of the Jays bullpen holds the White Sox down again. The Jays sweep them and shut them out twice in the series. They win this one 8-0. The Yankees are in Minnesota taking on the Twins. It's the Joey Gallo revenge tour as he continues to go deep, and the Twins score 6 as Sonny Gray dominates his former team as the Twins beat the Yankees 6-1 in the opener. Second game, it's Buxton and Lenarsic who hit late home runs to help the Twins and Joe Ryan get by the Yankees again. They win that one 6-2. In the final game, it's Joey Gallo who goes deep again, as well as Jose Miranda, but there were no way the Twins were getting swept by the Yankees, were getting swept by the Twins, as they score 5 in the second and 6 in the 4th, and the Yankees take the last game. They'll lose the season series, but they'll take the last game 12-6. Moving on, the Rockies are in Cleveland against the Guardians. Profar gets the series started with a home run, his third of the year. And Austin Gomber, he goes 5 innings, allowing 3 hits, no runs, and the Rockies pitchers shut down Cleveland. They take the first game 6-0. Second game, Charlie Blackmon leadoff ding-dong to start the game, as again, him and Profar have good games, and the Rockies pitchers hold the Guardians to only 1 run this time. They take the second game 5-1. And in Game 3, it's a different story, as it's Josh Naylor who gets the home run in the first inning. But it's the debut of the Guardians pitcher, Tanner Beebe, that highlighted the game. He went 5 2/3 innings, 6 hits, 1 run, 8 Ks, as he shows a lot of promise in his first game ever. The Guardians avoid the sweep. They win that one 4-1. I hope I got his name right. Beebe. B-I-B-E-E. I don't know. It looks like BB. Oakland and the Angels. Brent Rooker and Jesus Aguilar go back-to-back twice in the game, as they both get 2 home runs each in the game. Kevin Smith, he hits his first of the year for Oakland. Drury and Wallach hit their seconds of the year for the Angels. This one heads to extras, where Oakland scores 3, and the Angels can only get 2 back with a Drury home run. The Angels lose this one to Oakland in extras 11-10. In the second game, it's Shea Langelaris hits number 5 on the year, but a strong 4-run first for the Angels is what they would need to take this game. They win the second game 5-3. In the third game, it's Kevin Smith. He gets his second home run of the year and in the series, but the Angels put up 5 in the third. They get home runs throughout the game by Brandon Drury, Hunter Renfroe, and Shohei Ohtani, as the Angels win that one 11-3. And in the fourth game, Drury again with a home run, his 4th of the series. Langelaris and Rooker also go deep again in the series. A scored too late to make it close, but the Angels hold on to win 3 of the 4. They take that game 8-7. Moving along, we've got the Mariners and the Phillies. Jared Kelenic continues to play with the potential that the Mariners fans have been waiting for, as he crushes his 7th home run of the year. Teoscar Hernandez, he hits number 6 for the Mariners, and they win the opener 5-3. In the second game, it's Nicholas Castellanos, a first inning home run, but it's J.P. Crawford, a grand slam, and then Julio right after him, back-to-back for the Mariners. They're up 5-2, but it's the Phillies that would crawl back. They score 2 runs throughout the game, and then would score 2 in the 8th to take the lead, and they will hold the Mariners. They come back from behind to win it. They take that game 6-2. 6-5. And in the final game, the only run in this one comes from a Cody Clemens single, as the Phillies pitchers shut out the Mariners. They take the series. They win that one 1-0. Moving on to some NL stuff, the Nationals and the Mets. Josiah Gray has himself a game. He goes 6 innings, 4 hits, no runs, striking out 9 Mets, while the Nationals get a home run from Keibert Ruiz and score 4 more, as the Nationals shut the Mets out 5-0. Game 2 goes similar that way. Candelario, he goes deep for the Nats. And how about this time? It's Mackenzie Gore. He goes 6 innings, 1 run, 4 hits, striking out 10 Mets. As the Nats win again, they give Senga his first ever MLB loss. They win it 4-1. And in the final game, it's Brett Beatty. He hits his first of the year since joining the team recently. The Mets are up 7-3 in the 8th inning, when it's C.J. Abrams who hits a grand slam after a sac fly to give the Nats the lead 8-7. But it's the Mets who would not go down this time. A double from Alonso and a triple for McNeil gives the Mets the lead that they would hold on to and win to avoid the sweep. They win it 9-8. But how about the guys from the Nats? The big trades they had recently with the Dodgers and Padres the last few seasons. Josiah Gray, Mackenzie Gore, C.J. Abrams, Keibert Ruiz all had big series against the Mets there. They win that series. Marlins and Braves, and it's Spencer Strider, a ridiculous start, and the Braves hit 5 home runs from Sean Murphy. Sam Hillard gets 2 of them. Eddie Rosario and Austin Riley, as they crush the Finns. They win that one 11-0. In the second game, Jazz gets his 4th home run of the year. Ozzy Albies goes twice in this one. The second one was on a back-to-back with Eddie Rosario for his second of the series. And how about the 38-year-old Yuli Gurriel, an inside-the-park home run for the Marlins, the first inside-the-park home run of the season. Gurriel's second of the year, but the Braves do end up winning this one. They take it 7-4. In Game 3, it's the Marlins. They come out swinging in this one. 3 straight home runs, including 3 home runs in 3 straight innings. That's better. 1 from Jesus Sanchez, 1 from Jazz, and 1 from Garcia. But it's Acuna and Olsen. They homer for the Braves. They score 4 runs in the 8th inning to come back and win this one 6-4. And in the final game, Game 4, Braves score 4 in the 5th, and everybody starts thinking the same thing. The Braves got a 4-game sweep over the Marlins. Well, guess what? You thought wrong. The Marlins, they score 5 in the 9th inning. The comeback and win the game. They salvage the last game of the series. They take the final 5-4. Moving on, we are in Milwaukee, Tigers and the Brewers, and it's William Contreras. He homers his first of the year and first as a Brewer, but Nick Maton goes yard, a 3-run shot, his 4th of the year. The Tigers win the opener 4-2. Gary Carpenter, he hits a 3-run shot in Game 2, and the Tigers would be up 4. Brewers would try to catch up, and even with a rowdy bomb, it isn't enough. The Tigers win again 4-3. But in the final game, the Brewers score 3 in the first to get things underway, and they back up a very nice start for Freddie Peralta. As the Brewers win the last game, they avoid the sweep. They take that one 6-2. Rangers and Reds. Josh Jung in the first game, he has a 2-homer day for the Rangers, but it's the Reds who would score 2 runs in the 8th on a 2 bases loaded walks before walking it off in the 9th inning on a TJ Friedel base hit as they take the game 7-6, walk off the Rangers. Game 2, the Rangers, they get home runs from Lau, Simeon, and Smith as they're up 6-0 in the 7th inning. But here come those Reds again. They score 1 in the 7th and then 6 in the 8th. Single after single after single, and then the big double by Jake Fraley as the Reds shock everyone with a 7-run comeback. They beat the Rangers again 7-6. And in the final game, the Reds are up 3-2 in the 9th inning, trying to sweep, but this time it's the Rangers who tie the game with a Brad Miller sac fly. Just kidding, it's the Reds again. Nick Senzel, the walk-off home run, as the Reds sweep the Rangers with 2 walk-offs and a 7-run comeback for an impressive series. They take the final game 5-3. Padres and Cubs now. Yan Gomes, a home run and a single for 3 RBIs. Nico Horner gets a bases clearing triple for 3 RBIs. The Cubs shine out versus the Padres. As the Cubs fans shout out to Tatis that he is on steroids, Tatis embraces it with a little dancey dance in the outfield. The Cubs win the first one 6-0. Game 2, Trey Mancini, he ties the game with a home run, his 3rd of the year. But Tatis, he gets 3 RBIs on 2 singles. The Padres take the game late. They win it 5-3. And in the final game, it's Manny Machado who gets his 2nd home run of the year. But the Cubs get home runs from Eric Hosmer, Vince Velasquez, and Dansby Swanson finally hits his first home run as a Cub, his first of the season. The Cubs win the series. They take the last game 5-2. Dodgers and Pirates. This was the series we all want to see heading into the week. The Pirates score 4 in the 4th inning with a home run from Andrew McCutcheon, but the Dodgers keep things close, and it's Chris Taylor with the go-ahead 3-run bomb that would help the Dodgers break the Pirates' winning streak. They take the game 8-7. Game 2, Tony Gonsolin is back. He is healthy, and he is making his first start of the 2023, and obviously on a short leash. He goes 3 1/3 innings, 2 hits, striking out 3. The Pirates, though, they get their revenge as they score 8 straight Freeman would homer late, but it's too little, too late as the Pirates take it 8-1. And how about Drew Maggi? He's an official big leaguer. He comes into the game late to pinch hit after 13 years in the minors. The almost 34-year-old got his debut. It was a really special moment. So congratulations for him. More on that later. But we have to see who wins the series, and we head to Game 3. And the Pirates, when do we start calling them a threat? It's Connor Joe and Rodolfo Castro, They go back-to-back off of Julio Urias. As the Pirates win the series versus the Dodgers, they take the last game 6-2. How about the Buccos? Royals and D-backs, a close one between these two, but the Snakes get the last laugh. They score in the 8th inning on a fielder's choice to take the opener. They win it 5-4. In the second game, it's another close one late, but Brady Singer's start helps the Royals. He goes 6 innings, 5 hits, 5 Ks, 1 run, as the Royals take it 5-4. But in the final game, it's Zach Gallen day, and Zach Gallen continues to be dominant. Another start, 6 1/3 innings pitched, 4 hits. How about 12 Ks, an even dozen for Gallen? The D-backs take the series. They win the last game 2-0. And lastly here, the Cardinals and Giants will play 4, and it starts with JD Davis, a 3-run shot, but it's a complete game shutout for Alex Cobb as he goes the full 9 for the Giants. They take the opener of 4, and they win it 4-0. Game 2, it's Mike Yastrzemski, home run number 5 on the year for the Giants. Tommy Edman, home run number 4 for him. The Cardinals have the lead heading into the 9th. Mike Yastrzemski, he will double. That cuts the lead down to 1. And then it's Blake Sabal with a 2-run walk-off home run. The Giants take it, steal it from the Cardinals. They win it 5-4. Game 3, Paul Goldschmidt. How about 2 home runs for him? But home runs from the Giants from Lamonte Wade Jr. and Wilmer Flores. That gets the Giants offense going. They'll score 7 unanswered after that. They take the game 7-3. And in the final game, it's 0-0 heading into the 7th inning when the Cardinals score 6 runs in the last 3 innings. They salvage the last game. They avoid the 4-game sweep versus the Giants. They take it 6-0. So let's start things off today with our game of the week. We're going to LA, Oakland, and the Angels. The first game, we talked about it a little bit. Things got started off in the first inning when Brent Rooker and Jesus Aguilar go back-to-back. Rooker his 5th of the year, Aguilar his 3rd. Next inning over, Kevin Smith, his 1st of the year, made it 5-0 Oakland before the Angels even got a run. Brandon Drury in the bottom of the 2nd, a home run to make it 5-1. In the top of the 3rd, hey, it's Brent Rooker again, and then Jesus Aguilar again. They go back-to-back twice. Rooker his 6th, Aguilar 4 now. Bottom of the 3rd, it's Chad Wallach. He hits a home run, his 2nd. It's 7-2 Oakland. Things don't look good. You don't want to be losing to Oakland. Anthony Rendon, he doubles in 2 to make it 7-4. And then Chad Wallach, he'll single in Rendon. That made it 7-5. Before Zach Neto, we haven't talked about him too much, but he's the young guy for the Angels. Got the call, first ever in the 2022 draft to be in the majors. He doubles into that would tie the game at 7-7. Flash forward now to the bottom of the 7th. Brandon Drury, he'll single in a run. Angels have their first lead of the game. It's 8-7. And then top of the 9th, Brent Rooker, he walks with the bases loaded. That made it 8-8. That sent us into extras. Top of the 10th, we had an umpire review on a tag play. What happened was Ryan Noda, he doubles in 2 on a line drive to left fielder Taylor Ward. And then he advances to 3rd on the play. That made it 10-8. And then Tony Kemp, he gets a single that would score Noda and make it 11-8. Oakland. And then in the bottom of the 10th, Brandon Drury, he hits his 2nd home run of the game. That made it 11-10, his 3rd of the year. But the Angels can't get any more After that, they lose the game 11-10. Familia, he gets the save, his second of the year. Berea with the loss. He was the one who walked in Rooker in the ninth. So, tough one for the Angels, but they did end up winning the next three after that. So, good for them at least to make sure they at least beat Oakland in the series. Let's get our baseball news going here. Starting it off in Español, the Mexico series happens this week, tomorrow, Saturday, and Sunday. Padres and Giants. I'm really looking forward to watching those games on TV. I'm not flying out to Mexico for them, but I always love it when we do the series abroad, or special series in general, when the Yankees and Red Sox went to London doing the Field of Dream games. So I'm very excited for the Mexico series. I think it's going to be great TV for all. Giants and Padres, I mean, two teams that people love to watch. Tatis in Mexico is going to be a lot of fun. All those players who are native and from Mexico for those teams, it'll be great to be in their home places, their home country, playing some baseball there. They're going to play 2 games there. So that was very exciting games. I know it's not Monday, but I do want to mention a couple injuries really quickly, and only because these guys are major. Robbie Ray, first of all, he is done for the season. He's got Tommy John surgery ahead of him. He will no longer be playing in the season. So unfortunate for the Mariners there, but we're wishing him his best on a quick recovery. Hopefully we'll see him soon in 2024. And on Aaron Judge, he slid into third. He's trying to steal third in one of the games against the Twins. Felt discomfort, left the game afterwards. Something with his right hip. We're not so sure on what's going to happen, if he'll be placed in the IL, if he's just going to take a day off or two, if he's going to DH for a little bit. But it's just something to note that Aaron Judge, isn't fully there right now, fully healthy. Bryan Reynolds. We talked about him a little bit, or maybe we haven't, about how the Pirates and him were trying to come to agreement on an extension. He wanted lots of money. Pirates didn't want to pay him for that reason. Bryan Reynolds requested a trade. It was a little back and forth, but since the Pirates are playing so good, they had a conversation and the deal got done. Bryan Reynolds, he signs an extension with the Pirates. 8 years, $106.75 million. That's an AAV of $13.34. So, Pirates fans, you got your center fielder, and what a great signing that is for the Pirates fans. I mean, right now they look really good. They lost one of the games to the Dodgers and they couldn't keep their win streak, but they still beat the Dodgers in a series. Impressive as it is, and with the Cardinals playing as poorly as they can, the Pirates are still one of the best teams in the NL right now, winning out of their mind. The Brewers and the Cubs are slightly behind them in the division. But I mean, hey, these Pirates are not only a fun watch, but they're playing good. Like, if you've turn on a Pirate game at all in the last week and a half, they're looking really good. Obviously, it's still early. We're getting close to the 1 month in, but I mean, can the Pirates make it all the way? Can they make playoffs? I think that's gonna be a conversation that we're gonna be having for the next week and a half here, 2 weeks. Come the All-Star break, we'll see where they really sit. If they're pretenders, or if they're actually a real threat for whatever reason. Their time clock jumped the gun a little bit. So good for the Pirates, good for Bryan Reynolds. Everything works out. And speaking of good for the Pirates, Drew Maggi, he gets his call up after 34. Not 34 years. Well, he was 34 is what I'm trying to say there. And just a great moment for him. 1,154 games, 13 seasons in the minors. He gets his call. He came into the game late against the Dodgers, and he struck out. But it's still a remarkable story. Pirates fans love this guy. You love a story like this, and anybody in baseball, it's a lot of work, but he never gave up on his dream, and he got to the majors, and he is embracing every moment. So all the best for him. We'll see how his career unfolds. If he'll get a hit in one of these games coming up soon, we'll see how much playing time he'll get. But a special moment for Drew Maggi. Congratulations to him. Never give up on your dreams, kids. It's important, and this guy never did, and he got a special moment for it. Speaking of kids, Jordan Walker, he got sent down to the AAA team, which is kind of a shock for a lot of people. He had 20 hits, 2 home runs, 11 RBIs, 2 stolen bases. His average was 274, OPS is 718. He's been pretty average. We were talking about him a little bit, how he had that 12-game hit streak to start his career, tying Eddie Matthews for the longest by a rookie, 20 years or younger. I think the reason why, and obviously this is kind of why the Cardinals end up doing this, he's mainly a third baseman, right? He was brought up as a third baseman, drafted as a third baseman, but obviously that is Nolan Arenado's spot for the Cardinals lineup. So they've been trying to send him into the outfield and trying to use him there, and he hasn't been playing really well defensively. As a hitter, he's been of league average, if not a little bit higher. But definitely fielding-wise, he has struggled. He has a -5 DRS, which is defensive runs saved. For the Cardinals, it's the worst in MLB, -5. And he's been the worst exit angle hitter. He hasn't been elevating the ball much. That's why he only has those 2 home runs. So they send him down. They're going to hope that he can work on his outfielding a little bit. We'll definitely see Jordan Walker get in the majors real soon. But yeah, just kind of a low point for the Cardinals. They're 5th in their division, and they were supposed to be first by a long shot. A lot of people have them as the favorites in that division. And so far, they have not been playing well, and they just made a move. So hopefully Jordan Walker figures things out defensively. We'll see him back in the majors, hopefully real soon. But yeah, there's another thing there. The Rays are the first team to 20 wins. No surprise there. They're an incredible streak to start the season. They recently lost a series to the Jays. They just lost a series to the Astros. So I think the Rays will slowly start coming back down to earth. But they've broken a lot of records. They've had an amazing start to the season, and they are clearly the best team right now, technically still, record speaking, and that's why they're the first team to 20 wins. So congrats to the wins. Congrats to the wins. Congrats to the Rays. Congrats for the wins. Good job for the wins. You've earned them. The Twins get some congratulations as well, actually. They win a season series versus the Yankees for the first time since 2001, which is pretty, unbelievable, to say the least. That's 22 years since the Twins had won more games than the Yankees against each other in a season. There was an interview with Byron Buxton where a reporter told him that, and his expression is priceless. So if you guys have time, I would definitely recommend checking that out. But yeah, it's pretty unbelievable. I mean, the Twins, they always, whenever they end up making playoffs since, the 2000s, they always somehow end up taking on the Yankees, and they always end up getting swept or losing the series. So the Twins have always kind of had this rivalry with the Yankees just because they couldn't beat them. And it stems back all the way to 2001. So congratulations to the Twins. Finally, they beat the Yankees in a season series. They won't be playing each other anymore unless they match in the playoffs. So yeah, Twins, good job for you guys. And speaking of AL Central teams, we got to talk about the White Sox because they are down bad right now. They look horrible. I was lucky enough to go to the Blue Jays games this week. I saw all 3 of them, and I saw the Jays sweep the White Sox. They are 7-19. The only 2 teams that are worse than them are the Royals and Oakland. They're losing 8 straight. They're heading to Tampa now, or Tampa heads to Chicago. They're 29-5 in their last 3 games in terms of scoring. In the last 3 games, they've only scored 5 runs. This is Also, kind of counting yesterday, in which they already played a game versus the Rays, so we're not trying to talk about that too much. But it was unbelievable watching them play. Like Luis Robert looked horrible. Jake Berger was, swinging at air. Like there was not any few like shining points. I didn't get to see Dylan Cease pitch. So I saw Michael Kopech, who, he throws the ball fast, but you know how fast pitchers are. They have a little bit lost control. You can't always avoid the home run ball. Bichette got to him. Lance Lynn, he was looking pretty good, and then, he threw a sweeper that just completely did not move, hung right in the middle for Kevin Biggio. And if you're letting Kevin Biggio hit a home run off of you, something's wrong. And it doesn't look right. I thought the White Sox last year, I kind of gave them the benefit of the doubt with all the injuries that they were having, but it was just not it. And it's tough to, if you're a White Sox fan. I like the White Sox, but this has not been good. And I know Tim Anderson's been injured, and you guys deal with those constantly. But so does everybody else, and you guys need to start figuring things out. This pathetic right now. If you guys search up White Sox interviews or fans on YouTube and everything, I watched one of them. This fan went off on the White Sox. Everybody from management to players, a White Sox diehard, and he is absolutely furious. It was pretty funny, so I would try to find that video as well. But yeah, White Sox need to figure it out. That's kind of your baseball news for the week. Moving along, we've got our new hot and cold system. If you missed last week's episode, hot and colds will be done on Fridays, and it'll be for the week, so not just one series, but two series. So these are the last 7 days, so every Friday, so you can do the math. Let's start with our hot players. We're still doing 5 and 5. And we're starting off with Brandon Drury from the Angels. He is 10 for 20, 4 home runs, 12 RBIs, 8 runs, a triple. That's good for an OPS of 1.865. He is your hottest hitter for sure for the last 7 days. Masataka Yoshida with Boston. He's 10 for 19, 3 home runs, 7 RBIs, 4 runs. Good for an OPS of 1.545. Nicholas Castellanos with your Phillies. He's 10 for 19, 3 home runs, 5 RBIs, 6 runs, no strikeouts, which for Castellanos is very impressive. 1.579 there is your OPS. The no strikeouts thing is bewildering to me. Adolis Garcia with the Rangers. He's 9 for 22, 3 home runs, 9 RBIs, 7 runs. That's good for an OPS of 1.436. And lastly, Jorge Polanco with your Twins, 9 for 11, 1 home run, 6 RBIs, 3 runs, good for an OPS of 1.136. Moving on, we have our cold players, and it's sorry to say this, but White Sox fans, you guys rule this list. Elvis Andrus, 2 for 22 with 5 Ks. Andrew Vaughn, 3 for 24 with 8 Ks, and Luis Robert, 3 for 21 with 12 Ks. Sorry, White Sox. Spencer Steer, also on the list, 3 for 21, 11 Ks. And this one hurts me a little bit. Austin Riley, 3 for 22, 8 Ks. You never like to see that, especially when he's on your fantasy team. Austin Riley, please get it going. Moving on, we have our outstanding performances. And we're going to start off with the Astros. Hunter Brown, I mentioned him in the recap against the Rays. 7 innings pitched, 2 hits, no earned runs, 2 walks, and 8 strikeouts there. Jose Barrios. I love watching Jose Barrios play because he always pitches really well when I go to those games. 7 innings pitched, 4 hits, no earned runs, 1 walk, and 9 strikeouts for him against the White Sox. Sonny Gray versus the Yankees. He went 7 innings pitched, 3 hits, no earned runs, 2 walks, and 8 Ks there. Special note for Spencer Strider, who looked dominant against the Marlins. 8 innings pitched, 2 hits, no runs, no walks, and 13 strikeouts there. very impressive. And lastly, of course, we got to bring in Alex Cobb with the Giants. A complete game shutout, 9 innings pitched, 6 hits, no runs, 1 walk, and 4 Ks. So very good starts for those guys this weekend for sure. Now we have our stat leaderboard, also now specifically a Friday thing. Every Friday we're going over who's at the top of each major category. There, starting off with average, it is still Luis Arias, batting .425 on the year. In terms of hits, we have a tie for Ronald Acuna Jr. and Bryson Stott with 37 apiece there. Home runs, new home run king comes to town. It's Max Muncy. He's got 11 on the year, leads that. RBIs is Adolis Garcia who leads it now, 29 RBIs on the year for him. Runs scored, Marcus Semien, 24 runs there. Walks, it's still Juan Soto. He's got 23 on the year. Stolen bases, Ronald Acuna Jr., he's got 13, leads the league there as well. OPS goes to Max Muncy, 1.129 there. For wins for our pitchers, we have a 3-way tie for first. Garrett Cole, Shane McClanahan, and Joe Ryan. So a couple of AL pitchers there. They all have 5 wins on the year, all 5-0. ERA, a new ERA king, Sonny Gray with the Twins. 0.62 ERA. Very impressive stuff from Sonny Gray. For strikeouts, it's Zach Gallen. He's got 51 on the year already. And for saves, none other than Josh Hader with 9 for the Padres. Kind of long, this one, but let's wrap things up. We've got our upcoming series for the weekend. The Mariners are coming to Toronto for the first time since the wild card last year, where things did not go Toronto's way. Teoscar Hernandez, he returns to Canada, he returns to the Blue Jays. He should receive a warm welcome there. Guardians and the Red Sox, they're playing Rays. They're going to the White Sox to see, hey, one of the best teams versus one of the worst teams. I wonder what's going to happen there. Oilers and Tigers, Royals and Twins, Yankees and Rangers. Fun one there. Judge will go back to where he hit his 62nd home run of the year last year. Reds and Athletics. Phillies and Astros, the World Series rematch of last year. Phillies are in Houston for that rematch. That's a fun one. Braves and Mets, 2 of the NL East best teams. That's always important matchups throughout the season. Pirates and Nationals, so Pirates get a nice chance there to extend their dominancy. Cubs taking on the Marlins. Angels versus the Brewers, Cardinals and Dodgers, D-backs and Rockies. And then, of course, we have our Giants and our Padres in the Mexico series. The Padres are considered the home team there. They'll host both those games, bat second. You know how it works. Lastly, today we have our playoff predictor. I introduced this last week and I'm keeping it going. Let's start off. Starting off, actually, first, the Astros and the Rangers, they're tied for first in the AL West. So we're going to say that they have a tiebreaker game. I'm going to say the Astros win that. So Astros, they are the winners of the West Division there. So they are the 3 seed, and they will host the Yankees in the Wild Card Series, and the Astros will win that series. The 5 seed Blue Jays take on the 4 seed Oilers, and I think the Blue Jays win that one. The Astros then head to Tampa Bay to take on the Rays, and I think the Rays easily take down the Astros there. The Blue Jays then head to the 2-seeded Twins, where I think the Blue Jays would win that series against the Twins. The Twins still can't win a playoff series. Then the Blue Jays head into Tampa Bay, and I think Tampa Bay takes down the Blue Jays, and Tampa Bay would advance to the World Series. Flip it to the NL side, the Mets and the D-backs. The Mets in your 6 seed, the D-backs in your 3 seed, still the best in the West. I think the Mets and the D-backs, crazy season there. Cubs and Brewers, Cubs in the 5, Brewers in the 4. I think the Brewers beat the Cubs. So though the Mets and the Brewers, they'll head on to the NLDS. The Mets taking on the Braves, funny enough, because they're also doing that this weekend. But I think the Braves take that series there. They will advance there. Brewers then head to the Pirates, a battle of the NL Central, and I think the Pirates season doesn't stop there. The Pirates move on. That leaves us with an NLCS of the Braves versus the Pirates, and that's where the Pirates season ends. The Braves, when they advance and they head to the World Series, it is the Braves and it is the Rays, and it is the Rays who will be your 2023 champions. The Rays will win their first ever World Series title. That is my prediction if playoffs started today, but they don't. We're still well in the beginning of the season. We're coming down to our first month of baseball, and we are also coming down to our end of the episode here. A bit of a longer one, but I hope you guys enjoyed it nonetheless. If you did, please feel free to like the video. If you're on YouTube, subscribe. If you have not, helps me out a ton trying to grow the community. Thank you guys so much for listening to this episode. I hope you guys have yourselves an amazing weekend. I know I will. I've got a couple tickets to the Jays and Mariners. Get to see Teoscar Hernandez, so pretty happy for myself. Thank you guys so much for listening, and I will see you guys Monday. Take it easy, guys.